The cold glow of my laptop screen illuminated the room as I sifted through Craigslist, searching for a cheap bicycle to ease my commute. My eyes settled on a listing that seemed too good to be true, a high-end mountain bike in excellent condition for a fraction of its retail price. The seller, Trailblazer87, provided only a phone number and a cryptic address on the outskirts of town. Curiosity got the better of me, and against my better judgment, I decided to check it out. As I pulled up to the address, a chill ran down my spine. It was an isolated cabin surrounded by dense woods, far from any neighbors. The wind whispered through the trees, heightening the eerie atmosphere. I approached the cabin cautiously, my footsteps echoing in the silence. The door creaked open before I could even knock, revealing a disheveled man in his 40s, wearing a weathered jacket. "Hey there, you're here for the bike, right?" he greeted, his smile unnervingly wide. I hesitated but nodded, my eyes glancing around the dimly lit interior. The cabin smelled musty, and a flickering lantern cast shadows that danced on the wooden walls. As we negotiated the deal, I noticed a peculiar room in the back, its door slightly ajar. My curiosity got the better of me, and I caught a glimpse of what seemed to be a makeshift prison cell with chains and restraints. My heart raced, and I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. "Is that—" I stammered, pointing to the ominous room. The man's grin faded, replaced by a steely gaze. "Don't worry about it, just focus on the bike." Alarm bells rang in my head, but fear paralyzed me. I handed him the cash, grabbed the bike, and rushed out of the cabin. Once I was a safe distance away, I called the police to report the strange encounter. They assured me they would investigate, but urged me to stay away from the area. Days turned into weeks, and the incident faded from my thoughts until I stumbled upon a news article that sent shivers down my spine. The man from the cabin, identified as Richard Harlow, had been arrested for a string of kidnappings. Authorities had uncovered a hidden chamber in his cabin where he had kept his victims captive before vanishing without a trace. The details were horrifying. The room I had glimpsed was where he had imprisoned innocent people, subjecting them to unspeakable horrors. I couldn't shake the realization that I had narrowly escaped becoming one of his victims. The news article featured a chilling quote from a police officer involved in the case. "It's a miracle we caught him when we did. He had a list of potential buyers from online sales, and we believe he lured people to his cabin under the guise of selling items. Craigslist was his hunting ground." The revelation sent a shiver down my spine. I couldn't shake the feeling that I had danced with the devil, narrowly escaping the clutches of a kidnapper. The realization that the seemingly innocuous encounter could have ended in tragedy haunted my thoughts. A stark reminder of the dangers lurking in the shadows of the online world.
It all started innocently enough when I stumbled upon a peculiar listing on Craigslist. The item in question was an old weathered book titled The Veil of Shadows, described by the seller, Mystic Reader, as a rare occult tome with the power to reveal glimpses into the supernatural. Intrigued by the mysterious allure of the book, I reached out to Mystic Reader and arranged to meet at a dimly lit cafe downtown. As I sat across from Mystic Reader, a hooded figure with piercing eyes, I handed over the cash and received the ominous book. The transaction was swift, and I left the cafe with a sense of excitement tinged with trepidation. That night, I delved into the pages of The Veil of Shadows. The ancient text was filled with cryptic symbols and arcane rituals, promising to unveil secrets beyond the comprehension of the ordinary world. The further I read, the more I became entwined with the sinister energy emanating from the pages. As the days passed, strange occurrences disrupted my once mundane life. Whispers echoed through the walls, shadows danced in the periphery of my vision, and an unrelenting sense of dread settled over my apartment like a heavy fog. Sleep became elusive, and my mind was plagued by nightmarish visions. One evening, as I attempted to decipher a particularly enigmatic passage from the book, my phone buzzed ominously. An anonymous message appeared on the screen. "You shouldn't have taken what doesn't belong to you." My heart raced as I stared at the threatening words. Panic set in, and I began to question the origins of the cursed book. What had I stumbled upon, and who was behind the malevolent warning? The following day, a package arrived at my doorstep. Inside, I found a lock of hair tied with a blood-red ribbon and a cryptic note that sent shivers down my spine. "The Veil of Shadows demands a sacrifice. You are chosen." Fear consumed me as I grappled with the realization that the book I had acquired was not meant to be sold. It held a dark power, and I had unwittingly unleashed forces beyond my control. Desperate for answers, I attempted to contact Mystic Reader, but their Craigslist account had vanished without a trace. Night after night, the supernatural disturbances intensified. Whispers became tormented screams, and shadows manifested into twisted, nightmarish figures that lurked in the corners of my apartment. I felt the veil between the mundane and the supernatural growing thinner, threatening to consume me. As my sanity teetered on the edge, I sought the help of a paranormal investigator, hoping to unravel the mysteries surrounding the Veil of Shadows. Together, we delved into the dark history of the book, discovering that it had once belonged to a forbidden cult that worshipped ancient entities beyond human comprehension. In a desperate attempt to sever the connection, we performed a ritual to return the cursed book to its rightful resting place. As the incantations echoed through the air, the oppressive energy lifted, and the supernatural disturbances ceased. The book, now devoid of its malevolent influence, crumbled into dust. Relieved but forever changed, I couldn't shake the lingering fear that the entities unleashed by the forbidden transactions still lurked in the shadows, waiting for another unsuspecting soul to cross their path on Craigslist. The experience served as a chilling reminder that some secrets were best left undiscovered in the dark corners of the online marketplace.